Hey, today we are ending our series, Gamma World 3rd Edition Combat. This is part 3. I've been having a lot of fun with this. My prayer is that you have been having a lot of fun with this as well. Now, if this is your first time coming to the channel and you don't know what's up, let me tell you where you have stumbled upon. This is RPG Elite. This is the place where we put the RP back into tabletop RPG. And how do we do that? We give you tools, we give you tips, we give you tutorials, and we give you real talk, uncomfortable talk that make people unsubscribe from my channel and dislike me. But hey, we got to talk about it anyway, even if you don't like how I do it. And I do that, why? I do that for this reason, so that you, it's all for you, you can have a more immersive and enjoyable tabletop RPG experience. 3rd edition, I've already told you, this is my favorite edition of the 4 that we're covering, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and 4th. And this is my favorite. So if you're thinking that maybe you're interested in any of those editions, then go ahead and click on my affiliate links down below. It's going to take you to Drive Through RPG. There you can pick up your own PDF copy. They're very reasonable. I think they're like $10, and $10 is a steal. Quite honest, it is a steal. I think you can get some soft covers of those as well if you want to go in that route. And I'm also going to have some special listings that I'll have up on the channel here soon. Well, I'm not going to waste too much time here. We're going to get right into it. Gamma World 3rd Edition Combat, Part 3. We're going to see what happens with our heroes, Mirabaldo, Zealand, and Oki. And then I'm going to see you on the other side, tell you a little bit about what we have coming up in the coming weeks here on RPG Elite. Let's do it.
At this point, it switches to the defending party, and all of the defending party side's actions are now completed in the same order as the initiative party, minus mental attacks, since all of those have already been resolved. Now keep in mind that characters of the initiative party who decided to hold their action can now perform the appropriate action during the defending party's turn. So if a character of the initiative party had not moved previously, they may do so first in the defending party's movement phase, or whenever they want to move then. Defending party members cannot change their declared actions in a round. Only the initiative party has that option. It's time for the defending side to complete all of their combat actions, and it's going to be in the same order as the initiative party. So that means movement first, ranged and thrown weapons second, and melee and unarmed combat last. So we know that everyone is moving because of their declared actions. So we're just going to go from left to right here. We'll go with Mirabaldo first. He's going to move half of his movement. So he's able to use his crossbow, which is 26 feet. So he's going to move about, what is it, right there? Oh, perfect. Right there. Turn around and position himself for his attack. Zealand, he is going to move back away from this thing. He's not in too bad of a condition. He's not bad. So he's going to move back to about right there. Okay. And Oki is going to move forward right there, and he's just going to turn and wait for Zealand to make his attack, because he doesn't want to get caught in the crossfire of radiation eyes. And he's just going to wait until he can move his full movement. And you can do that. You can move like half of your half movement, basically. Wait and then move another. If you want to do that for a teammate, for their attack or whatever, you can do that. So let's go on to the next thing, or the next phase, and that would be Mirabaldo making his crossbow attack. Let's look at his crossbow a little bit here. The layer's crossbow looked like it does 1d10 damage. Pretty good. It has a base range of 50, and that will matter, folks, because if you are within short range, you do the base damage here. However, when we look at the weapons table, go back here and we look at the weapon table. If we're looking at crossbow, it has two things here. It has a 10 and then a slash and a 5. What that means is that it will do 10 within short range. If it's beyond short range, then it does only half damage. And this modifier is what you're going to add to the to hit attack. It's the dexterity modifier, but we know Mirabaldo, yeah, he ain't looking too cool in that department. It's just average. So he is just going to level his crossbow to try to hit this Parn. But there's one more thing that we've got to consider, and that's the size of this Parn. Remember, this thing is 3 meters. For me, it's like 10 feet. This thing is huge. So if we go back here to the combat modifiers table, and we go down here, we see that the target size, large, 2 meters up to 5 meters, whoever's attacking will get a +1 column shift. So instead of attacking on the 7 column, because remember, you attack using your rank unless you're using a mutation. So he's going to go from 7 to 8. So let's get 8. Let's open up that column and let's see how well Mirabaldo does with his attack against the Parn. Oh! Oh! What are the chances? Somebody is upset. You know, it's random, y'all. So what happens, happens. All right. So Mirabaldo has a crossbow. It does 10 points of damage. Let's go back here and we will look at the, where is it at? The ACT multiplier table, just in case you forgot. Right here, if you're rolling a red, it's times 5. That means Mirabaldo just did 50 points of damage to this Parn. But we have to see now how much is the armor class on this Parn. Let's take a look. So the armor class is 4, which means it's going to be a -20 to what Mirabaldo just did. But still, this thing takes 30 points of damage, which means Mirabaldo returns the favor on this thing and takes it down below half damage. He was just a wee bit upset getting hit by those spines. All right, let's move on to Zealand. Zealand, again, is going to use his radiation eyes to attack this Parn. Now, some interesting things can happen to this Parn if he hits. All right. So the range on this thing is going to be 10. So he is within range in feet. Because it's 10 in meters. I keep forgetting that they did things in meters. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe it's because we Americans are just weird like that and do things in feet while the whole world does things in meters. But we have to multiply that by 3.28, which means that he has to be within 30 feet. He is. So all we need to do is go to the table that he's going to roll on. And remember, it's going to be 11. He rolls for his under mutation score, which is 10. But it's going to be 11 because the thing is huge, remember. He gets a +1 column shift. So let's see how well Zealand does here. Okay, Zealand hits with a blue. So let's go ahead and look at the details on Zealand's mutation. So it looks like the base damage on this is half of his mutation score. It's going to be 5. And we know from the other Parn that he doesn't do any damage. However, this is a radiation attack. So if we look back at the radiation eyes, it says here that if the target is a mutated creature, and this one is, then it has to make a constitution check and then consult the mutate. It says table, but it's actually column. And the GM are going to pick the mutation that's affected, and the Parn only has 1. And you're going to roll for the duration on the duration column, not table. So let's go and look at what we're talking about here so we can get an idea. Here's the mutation column. All right. So if we're looking at this here, we see that there's a couple different things that can happen depending on what the constitution check is. So it's all going to depend, and it looks like some things he's going to gain a mental if he rolls in the green, gain a physical if he rolls in the yellow. No effect on the orange, so that kind of helps out everyone on the defending team. But gets a +2 to his mutation if he rolls a red. However, if it's a blue in the constitution check, it's a -2. You gain 1 defect if he rolls a white, and he loses a mutation if he rolls into black. So it's kind of like a 50-50 hit here, depending on how well they roll for their constitution. So let's look at this Parn. And let's see their constitution 15 + 1. Oh, and I think they can roll their constitution modifier. Their constitution modifier is +1. They're going to roll in the 16 column. Oh boy. These things are a little tough. Well, let's go over here. Gonna roll in the 16 column and let's see what happens as a result. Rolls the orange. Rolls in the orange. And if we go back here, if you remember, we go back here to the the special injuries table here. Orange means no effect. So nothing happens. Zealand does not injure it, neither does he mutate it with his radiation eyes. Now we move on to our last one, which would be Oki. Now Oki, remember, is going to move. So let's move him here. And he's going to get right in this thing's face. So we're going to move him right about there. He's going to do an unarmed attack. And he has, if you remember, Brawling. Brawling is going to be rolled on column 14, and this Parn is rather large, so it's going to be actually rolled on column 15. Let's open her up. Because you add PS modifier to the attack, so he doesn't actually roll on the 15 column. He actually rolls on the 16 column. Got to do it right, y'all. Got to do it right. Oh, but we subtract the dexterity of the Parn. That's still Oki. Let's do this. And there is nothing to subtract. So he does roll on the 16 column. So let's do it right and let's see what happens. Booyah! He rolls a 91 orange. Now remember, you go back to his brawling here. His base damage is 1/4 of his PS score, and we're going to round that up. So let's see what his PS is. PS is 15. So 4 goes into 15. So it'll be 4. So he just did, if we go back to the multiplier table, orange is 4, so he does 16 points of damage, but we all know the Parn has 20 points of armor, so he does no damage, even though he pounded it pretty hard, but no damage. After all of the actions of the defending side are completed, the initiative party can now complete any other actions not covered, like reloading, helping a teammate, taking cover, negotiating, using an artifact that does an attack, etc. After that, the defending party can do it. So in this round, the only thing that is going to happen is Mirabaldo is going to reload his crossbow, and Zealand is going to draw his bow and notch it with an arrow to get ready for the next round. This final phase of the round is more for GMs and timing. All grenades and bombs now detonate even if they have a trigger. So if someone threw a grenade earlier in the ranged and thrown weapons attack phase, it will now detonate. Since neither side has any kind of bombs or grenades, this would go on to the next round.
Now it's a little involved, but the more that you do it, obviously, the more natural it becomes. Things flow a lot smoothly and you know exactly what to do and things just kind of pop off. So there's a lot of steps in there, but it's less difficult than what you would imagine. Now we are gearing up and getting towards the end of this series. Like I said, I've had a lot of fun doing this series, but all good things must come to an end. And we are going to be doing more classic tabletop RPGs. We got the one shot for our Gamma World online session that we are planning. We plan on doing some things here very soon, and as far as recording, the whole nine. And so we're looking at this in the next few weeks. I still don't know how I'm going to put this out, but I do have some other things that are going to pop off in between there, God willing. And the big thing is that I'm working on the website. So the website is it's almost done, and it's about to pop off, y'all, this month. The website will be up. There'll be some other things that we got going on as well, but I kind of want to keep those as a surprise. So if you like what you see here, at least in this video, then you can go ahead and crush the like button. And also, if you just want to be down with what we've got going on here at RPG Elite and you don't want to miss anything, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you know exactly when I come out with some things. Got a special video that's coming up here soon as well. Well, that's going to do it for me. Your boy servant is outie.
So exit, stage left.
5,000 leech. Peace in hell grease.